Hi friends, Christine McKinley here with the Orlando Real Estate Chicks. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I have a really fun video for you. I am going to talk about how we flipped this home in 60 days. We bought it for $350,000 and we are selling it for nearly $600,000. And yes, we flipped this home in 2 months, and you can go on the public records. We bought it February 10th, and we put it on the market April 10th, and we went pending in 2 days. So if you are a neighbor and you are watching this, maybe you found my YouTube channel, you know this house. And you also know that there are many flips on the market right now in the neighborhood, and they are on the market for over 80 days, definitely over 2 months, and they are just sitting on the market. So I'm going to explain in this video what makes a good flip, how to pick the right materials, how to market it, and just really how we did what we did and we had success in it where other people aren't having as much success. And I would love to help them. So if you are one of those people that own one of those houses, I can also help you make these changes and get your home sold. So let's dig into it. The house on the right here, this is the house that we bought. Okay. So this agent did everything right. He took great photos. A lot of people, whenever they list a flip house, they don't take professional photos, and it still is really, really important to do that. Also, this house had multiple offers, so we were able to win in multiple offer situations. I'm not going to give away my tricks for that because I have a lot of experience in multiple offer situations, especially going through COVID. And yeah, I'm going to keep those close to home. That's one of my things as a realtor. You know what I mean? So looking at this home, it was painted a beautiful light blue. It had these shutters. It just had old coach lights. There was siding on the outside. You can kind of see there was siding, old front door. A really nice house. I think that the roof was in pretty good shape, and before listing, they did redo the landscaping, which was fantastic. We actually ended up keeping a lot of it because it just was new, looked really good. So this agent did all the right things with the product that he was hired to sell. Now I'll show you a few more photos here. It is a very, very charming house, and I immediately just knew we had to get it. It's also a decent sized home. It is 1765 square feet. So again, this is the before, okay? They had these really heavy red colors throughout the house. They had them in drapes. It had them right here in the hallway. That's kind of like the hallway whenever you enter. So as you can see, this house was just really, really closed off, and I knew immediately we needed to open it up. It has popcorn ceilings. It has the dark wood trim. These laminate floors are no good. They were in good shape actually, but those are just not the style that people want anymore. And I think it's really important. I think realtors make the best flippers. Even though I don't really like that term, I'm just going to say flippers because we walk through houses with buyers on a weekly, daily basis. And so we're hearing what they say and what they like about homes. And also my Instagram and TikTok feed is all design trends. And that's just me being a realtor. And yeah, I am a little bit sick of it, but I know what the people want. So that's a huge perk whenever you are investing and you're flipping a house is you need an agent. Even if you are an agent, like if you have your license, but you don't sell, you really do need an agent to help you decide what kind of upgrades to put into the home. And I will also say that this is important for if you are a seller that's just hitting the market and you want to do some upgrades before you put your house in the market, call an agent. We know what buyers want. We know what they're saying whenever they're walking through all these houses. So I think it's really, really important to get an agent whenever you are doing any sort of renovating, any sort of flipping, because we're just going to know what they want. Now, whenever we first got this house, I took a poll on social media and I said, do you think that we should keep this wall or not? Let me show you the wall. See, the front door is kind of through this right here. And this part really enclosed the kitchen. And I do know because in my personal home, I don't have just one big open great room. And I like that about the home. And so I wanted to keep some walls, but I'm going to explain to you why we just couldn't make that happen. This house is 1,700 square feet. It's like 1,765. We could not keep the wall and make the kitchen bigger. And my number one priority was to make this kitchen bigger, not necessarily open up the house. So now I'm going to get a side-by-side image of the interior of the house. Okay, so you can see we did not keep one dang wall. And I was having a hard time with that, but ultimately I knew we just did not want, if we kept a wall, we would have too small of a kitchen, we'd have too small of a living room, and we cannot have that. Also, you can see these floors. I mean, not that we'd ever keep the floors probably in any flip house that we have, but these floors are all over the place. I mean, there's dark wood, there's this tile, and then there's this like light laminate. So of course we had to do that. So we really kept like the spaces the same. One decision that I recommended this flipper, who's also my husband, he's my contractor, was unfortunately we had to remove this window. We had to remove this window. So this window right here, where these curtains are in the old listing, that is probably where the hood is of the house. And the window was huge and it let in a lot of light, but as we were knocking down walls, I did not need to keep this light, okay? We had enough light, we were knocking down a bunch of walls, there's plenty of windows. So what we did is we removed this window, and that is where we put the back wall of the kitchen. I wanted the symmetry. Let me see if I can get like a good photo of kind of like how symmetric this kitchen is. You kind of, oh no, I guess not. We just have like a side. Okay, but you can tell this kitchen's very symmetrical. And that comes from working with engineers that we work with to create these kitchens that we do. But everything is symmetrical and we needed that. So the window was just going to ruin all of that symmetry, and I was not going to have that. We need the upper cabinets, we needed the hood, and I wanted the stove to go there. One thing I do recommend is not putting the stove in the island. That's one thing I just constantly hear from my clients is they'd rather have the sink. If anything, if you have to, because of space, put something in the island, put the sink in the island, not the stove. And now in this kitchen, it's a little bit hard to tell in this photo, but the sink is not in the middle of the island. That's not on purpose. That is, again, just to create symmetry. I needed the sink and the oven to line up for the shot whenever you first walk into the front door. So again, this is stuff I just know because I walk through houses with buyers all the time and I hear their comments and I pick up little things of what they're going to want. Now, I did do a few splurges in this house that I'll just bring up right now. I did do the white cabinets, which is no surprise. A lot of flippers are doing white cabinets. All of the other houses in the neighborhood that's a flip, they have white cabinets. But I did a little bit different on the poles. I went with this, it's called an antique brass. It's a dark gold. One thing I would really get away from right now is using a very yellow gold. That is something that is just not working in design. And I've noticed that in the other flips that are in this neighborhood at the exact same price point. Actually, those flips are less money and more square footage. So please don't use bright yellow gold. We need to get away from that. We need to use a nice, elegant, luxury, dark brass or dark gold, whatever you want to call it. I think it's going to be called like brass, champagne brass, antique gold, antique brass. Any sort of combination like that is going to be really great. So as you can see, again, we did some drawers over here. People like drawers in the kitchen a lot. New appliances, of course. And then I found these really cool big pendant lights. And I was able to get them installed at the exact height that I wanted. And again, if you are flipping a house or you are renovating, this is something that I can do for you. So I will help you design the house. I'll help you, pick your upgrades. I'll help you pick out these poles and these finishes because I want your house to sell because then I sold the house, of course. So let's keep moving. We obviously, this chunk right above the kitchen cabinets, that's just drywall. that doesn't need to be there. So, make sure you're raising your kitchen cabinets all the way to the ceiling. And then on top of that, make sure you are putting crown molding up there. If you have a space and you're like, Christine, I do not want to move my cabinet, no problem. Put another cabinet above it. Make sure that your cabinets touch the ceiling. Thank you so much. That's my public service announcement for the day. All right, so we're gonna keep going. And as you can see here, this house has no recessed lights. I suggested my husband to put in these recessed lights, which I think is really important. This house did feel a little bit dark, and you just want everything to be light and bright. And you can see we also painted like a really neutral white color throughout the whole house. We did the same color the whole house, and that's fine. You don't want a bunch of color in a house, in a flip house or in a renovated house. That's just not what people are doing anymore. That's not what builders are doing anymore. And if you're ever wondering like what's in, just go to some new construction houses and you'll find out very, very quickly what is in and what is not. So another thing that we did, I'm going to scroll to the master bedroom because this was probably the biggest one. So this is the master bedroom on the right-hand side. It had one sink, it had a little tiny shower, and then I think that the toilet was like back behind this. This is something I see a lot of mistakes. Do not be scared to structurally change the bathrooms. These bathrooms of these houses are very old. The way that we live is so different now that you really need to pay attention to the way that we live. So I will say that some people, some contractors that renovate these houses, they will just take the existing structure and just improve it, make it better. No, we want to completely reroute a bathroom like this. So let me show you what we ended up doing here. If you'll notice, let me go back again. That was a different bathroom. Okay, I believe that this is the master. Okay, so this is the same picture, the same angle of the house. So this is the master bedroom here on the right, the nice purple that they have. And there was one doorway. And if you go through that doorway, if you go to the left, it's the closet, and you go to the right, it's this image here, okay? So looking at this image, the closet is some bifold doors to the left. People do not want bifold doors anymore. Actually, you can see in this mirror right here that that's the bifold doors. That was the master closet. We don't want that. People like a walk-in closet, especially for a house of this price, in this caliber, in this neighborhood. We want a whole walk-in closet. So that is really important. So what we did, again, let me go back to this image, is we moved this doorway over to the left. Okay, so now it's right here. And then we created a separate doorway right here, and that went to the master closet. So now you have this big, long, nice walk-in closet, and that is beautiful. That's what people want. And I think people also really like a separated closet and bathroom. I know that I do, because when you take a shower, if your clothes are also in the same room as the bathroom, it is going to get damp in there. That's a very humid environment. So I would say that this is one of the biggest changes, and one of the best changes that you can make is just to reroute the bathroom. These bathrooms are very different than what is, current. So we also just did everything right. We did the drawers, we did the poles, we did the LED light. There's still recessed light in here, so don't be scared of having more than one light source. We want recessed lights and a fan. We want it all. We want everything, and then people can decide whenever they're living in the house how much light they want to use. But we want to be able to give them everything. And I just love, love, love how this turned out in a lot of natural light. This is another really beautiful thing that we did. So there's not even a picture of the shower over here, but again, this is the same bathroom. So what you're looking at on the left, the renovated side, that was where the old closet was. So we did have to reroute water and all that good stuff, but we can do it. We can do it. All right, let me think about what else we did here. Yep, put ceiling fans in every single room. We took down the popcorn. So as you can see, this is probably like the same. Yeah, this is the same room here. We did really nice high baseboards, a neutral paint, took down the popcorn, redid the AC vents. That is a different ceiling fan, even though in these photos it kind of looks the same. It's not. One thing we also did was we replaced the fence in the backyard. So maybe I should skip over to the backyard. Maybe we're ready for that. Oh, let me also show you the laundry room. Yeah, so we took down this cabinet. You do not need these old cabinets. Someone will come in and give, a beautiful new cabinet system, however they want to use the storage here. Other thing in the kitchen, just because of the size, it does have a pretty small pantry. So I do like to leave some room for people to imagine like a mud room or a pantry. And some of the other projects we will have installed that. But for this project, we didn't, but I like it still. It gives, again, room for the imagination. And then this is this room here, this bathroom. So again, this is the kids' bath or the guest bath. And there will be 3 bedrooms that share this one bathroom. And this is also the pool bathroom. So we wanted to add a second sink. I would say that that's really important, especially if it's going to have, children living there or like full-time guests, mother-in-law, suite situation. You want 2 sinks in the guest bath. I would say that that's very, very important. Do whatever you can to have that. And of course, we replace all the tile. We replace the bathtub. And then all new flooring, all new lighting. I really, really like the lighting that we got in here. I found these online. And again, this is a dark brass. We're not doing the really yellow gold anymore. So just something to keep in mind. And I think that this looks like wallpaper, but I think it was just paint. Okay, so let's skip to the backyard because I really am really happy. We thought about this a lot and I'm glad that we ended up doing this. So we paved the back patio. We also paved the front driveway, and that is such a great way to elevate the situation. If you are watching this and you live in the neighborhood, there's one flip that's on the market. I'm not going to say the street name. I'm going to try to be good about this. But I will tell you that they did not do anything to the outside of the house. They only touched the inside. And that is one of the biggest mistakes that you can make whenever you're flipping a house, because people will think that you're cheap and they'll think that they're taking on your bad work. And that's not good, that you didn't have the money. And whenever we're talking about flipping a house, the buyer wants you to spend money. They want you to fix up the house and not just fix it up cosmetically. Spend some money. If the numbers don't make sense on a flip, do not buy it. You will regret that purchase, and people will be able to go online just like we're doing right now together and look at the before and afters, and they will decide in their head how much money you spent and how much money the house is actually worth. So do not make that mistake by cheaping out on these renovations here, okay? So we did paint the steel here black. We just, obviously pressure washed everything, gave it a really good cleaning, replaced the coach lights, and we did pavers here, which I'm really, really happy about. We also stuccoed the entire house. We took, see how this is like block on this side? Yeah, we removed that. We removed all these bushes over here. And we also replaced this sliding glass door. We just did a lot. And then we painted the deck here with some very high quality, long lasting paint. We had been running the sprinkler systems. We did a lot to the fence. I can't remember if this is new or if it's just we stained it or something, but it looks really good. And yeah, the yard looks fantastic. We did some landscaping here, so you can see maybe from another angle that this was just really, really overgrown, just looked old. See, that's the same house, you guys. It's amazing. I love this stuff. Oh yeah, and we put a French door here. I just thought it gave it a lot of charm. And something a little bit different. And we just cleaned up the pool really good. The pool is actually in really good shape, so that was nice. And we just kind of made it nicer. This is a great house. I love this yard. And yeah, again, we just painted this, pressure washed it, put some better grass. Again, ran the sprinklers the whole 2 months, got the grass kind of like up and running, and just see how overgrown it was. This backyard is such a selling point for people, so make sure to, again, just spend some time in the outside of the house. I feel like it just can be so neglected. So I hope that this was interesting. Oh, we also epoxied the floor. Inside this is the AC, and that was just a personal preference that my husband hates looking at AC units. So he put that in its own little closet, which I thought was kind of just an added bonus, you know, nothing crazy. But he really went the extra mile to get this house up and running. The grass looked much better. The pavers looked much better. And as you can see, he even extended the pavers to the right side of the house. Again, new coach lights. He painted the door to the garage, new windows, new front door, new hardware. We also enclosed, see this like wrought iron thing? It's charming. It's cute. I'm sure it was cute back when it was purchased, but we enclosed it with wood and just made it really nice and waterproof. So I'm really, really happy with how this project turned out. Again, we were able to do this in 60 days. If you are in the neighborhood and you need some work done like this to your house, you want to renovate it, or maybe you want to sell your home and you don't want to renovate it to someone who would probably renovate it, I am your girl. Give me a contact. I'm going to put my QR code up here. We can schedule a call together and see how I can help you. Maybe you're a seller who you want to hit the market, but you don't know how to renovate your house and get top dollar. So I am your girl for that. I'm here to help you decide what to spend your money on and what not to. So I hope this was helpful, and thank you for being here. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.